Hi everybody, I thought I'd make a short slideshow video for all my friends at mzriders.com and for all my other friends that own an MZ Baghira. If you're fed up looking at the huge monstrosity of a tail tidy on these bikes, like me, I thought I'd set about making my own. I was so happy with the results. The style and designs has brought the bike up to date. I thought I'd make this little slideshow so anybody with the right tools should be able to copy this and make their own. The major tools needed is purely a jigsaw and a drill and maybe a file for cleaning things up. It's not rocket science, and as you're working with alloy plate, it's pretty forgiving. Bash it flat and bend it again. Here's a diagram that I made. If you want a large one, you can download it from mzriders.com. If not, as you can just take the measurements from this zoomed up diagram. The basic outline in grey pencil is a box grid section, and once you've got the box grid section scribed, you then scribe out in red is your cut marks, and then in yellow is an average area of where you want to bend to custom fit the tail tidy. Like in all projects, cut once and only once, so instead of risking anything, I made several out of pieces of cardboard first, just to fine tune things, test to see if it had fit. As you can see there, it's a cardboard template. I've put the rear brake light, I fitted that, I fitted the number plate just to square it all up to see if I can modify it, make any changes, and yeah, I do make a few changes, but make it out of cardboard first till you're happy, and then double check everything before you decide to cut it out of the steel plate. So as you can see in this photo, I made two templates, and then draw you up an initial diagram, and on the far right is the finished project. I had a little bit of spare carbon fibre wrap available, so I wrapped it up, got the hairdryer on it to set the bends, and it looks fantastic. It looks fantastic on the bike. But just remember, make one out of cardboard first and check, see if it fits. I've done all the hard work and I've done all the homework, so you should be able to trace it out, draw it out, cut it out. It's just the bending that obviously you're not going to see in the photos, so you're going to have to bend and custom fit that yourself. So yeah, this is how you start off. Two steel rulers. I used an old dart as a scribe and a little Sharpie just so the images will show up for the photo. And I printed out my plan, copied everything across, first in a grid pattern, so the outside box, and then from the outside box made a grid, and then within that grid I chose the dimensions for the design, and as you can see in black, that's the actual design that I'm going to cut out. And once you're happy for that, you've got to progress to the next stage. So here you have a photo of holes drilled. Now the reason you've got to drill these holes is jigsaws, especially with metal, do not like turning corners. They just can't. So as this is a straight line project, when you get to a corner, it's always best just to drill a little hole so you can finish off with a file nice and square. It's a little laborious, but at least it gives you something to aim for when using the jigsaw, a nice 80B point. It lets you reset and refresh, ready for the next cut, because I found the quality of the sawing will reflect on how much filing you'll have to do once you've cut the plate out. This is the finished project. It's all been cut, and as you can see in the next 3 photos, it's just how they've I'll give you a rough idea of how the thing bends to conform to fit on the bike nice and flush. I will say as a tip, which I've realised, when the plate is flat, before you do any bending, file all the saw marks flat, smooth off all the edges, make it look like a press plate, nice and smart, because then when you bend the thing, you've not got to worry about getting around all the angles with a file. I didn't do this, so it was a lot harder for me. So file it smooth and clean, tidy it all up before you actually start to make the bends. Here's another photo of the finished item. I'll just run through what you're looking at. The top 2 straps fit underneath the retainer bar on the rear subframe, underneath and not in between the retainer bar and the plastic rear mudguard fairing, whatever you want to call it. So there will need to be a little bit of a bend in that. I think it's 11 centimeters long. So bend the side 2 flaps in first for your indicators, bend the top 2 straps over, and then you can bend the whole thing to fit the number plate and then fit onto the rear subframe at the bottom. You can see the holes that are drilled there for the type of LED brake light that are purchased and for the cabling to go through. The other 3 that you can see are for the number plate. I chose that because I've used hex screws, security screws for the number plate, so it can't be ripped off. And the bottom hole fits to the frame itself, and the little tag at the bottom, that's for the MOT guy, because I've got to put red reflector on, otherwise I'll not get it past an MOT. And yeah, here we have a picture of the underside, just as clean and tidy. It might help you work out some of the angles, the bend angles. I used 2 bits of steel in a vise just to help me push it over. I recommend if you used 2mm alloy plate, then it'll be a lot easier to bend. This plate I used is 3mm, but it was more like 3.5. It was quite tough, quite a substantial plate, and it must add some sort of strength to the rear end there, but not that it's needed. So here you can see that I'm just making test fits now, a little bit of a bend back on the bike, do a little test fit, make sure my hole's lined up, and then back off again, bend again. When you are about ready to drill your holes for your indicators, just put the tail tidy back on the bike and just study that your exhaust pipe's not going to get in the way, or any ancillaries that you've got on that's not going to get in the way. I think on my bike I decided to go 1 centimetre down and 2 centimetres across. That cleared everything nicely. Here you can see another view of the tail tidy fitted, and when you make your own, you'll realise that there's a bit of a gap between the underside of the plastic rear mudguard fascia and the tail tidy itself. Far too difficult for me to try and organise the curve in the alloy plate, as well as have the two fixing straps that fix on the back of the handrail and the frame. So keep that in mind. Have a look when you make your cardboard cutout, and if you want to have a go at modifying it, then that's going to be the time to do that before you cut it out in alloy plate. So here's the finished project. I was quite happy with the way it all finished out. I had some spare carbon fibre wrap which I bought off eBay, which was cheap enough, so it all looks good. If you want to paint alloy plate, remember that it'll be more expensive than vinyl wrap, because alloy plate will need an etching primer to get the top coat to stick. So that's why I went for the wrap route. To be honest, I think it looks fantastic anyway. So here we have the finished project. I think you'll agree it looks fantastic. The indicators, quite aptly, were called Talon LED indicators. Don't know what the rear brake LED light was called. I just picked that up way before I even started the project. Now the next project, I'll just give you a quick rundown, is you want to fit obviously 4 indicators, 2 matching to the front, 2 matching to the back. But as you probably well know, the front indicators are on a strange configuration where they fit straight onto a plate and they're not a screw in. So the next couple of photos I'll explain to you how to make an adapter so you can have all indicators looking the same. So I know you're going to look at this picture and go, oh yeah, I get it now. That's right. If you've got access to a welder, I know not many people have, then obviously you cut a little plate out that mimics the end of the original indicator, and all I've done is spot welded a tube of the right size for its length, and then I screw a nut onto the indicator itself and fitted it to the tube, made a little marking just so it was facing the right direction when tight, and then just welded the nut onto the end of the tube. The thing carries no weight and carries no strength, so the tiniest of welds ground down will suffice, and it lets me have 4 matching indicators on the front. I know people just drill out the screw hole where the original indicator fits and it offsets it. Looks okay, does a purpose if you've not got a welder, but if you can just make up these bits, take it to a shop and get it welded. Here's another charge view. I just wanted to show you the nut. It's a way of getting a thread onto a tube. If you've not got a thread cutting kit, then just tap weld a nut on the end. Looks perfect. And there you go. This is the finished front indicator. It lines up nicely, and it wires up just as the original would wire up. So that's the finished thing, the finished tail tidy. I hope you like the efforts for the little video that I made. I hope it's gave you the confidence that you can take the monster of a tail tidy off and make your own. You've not got to stick to the diagram. You can make changes, customize it, make it a lot smaller. Basically, do what you like. It's a nice little project. Wasn't very expensive. Nobody makes tail tidies for MZ Baghiras anyway. The other thing, remember when you're using LED indicators, you're gonna have to get a different type of flasher relay. The one I got was £2.70 from Fleabay, so they all seem to do the same sort of job. Anybody out there that's got any MZ motorbikes, then don't forget there's the forum, mzriders.com, to answer any of your questions. We're a good bunch that give you a lot of advice, from engine stripping to chain oiling to spoke replacing, you name it. Come over and say hello. Thank you all.